Warning, the following program contains spoilers. Ugh. Hello everybody and welcome back to the final episode of the Battle of the Rookies. I am your host Game & Soy and we will be entering the last 2 rounds of the tournament tonight to claim the champion of RoboMania and declare the winner, the top rookie. Starting with a group of 16 robots. 12 have already been sent home and eliminated, while only 4 robots remain, with only one of them being declared the winner tonight. While the robots are still getting ready for the final fights of the tournament, let's take a look at the rules of the arena. Each fight will be a total of 3 minutes long unless it is a championship fight or a main event, which will be a total of 5 minutes long. Each minute, the judge will award the winning robot a total of 10 points, while the opponent gets 9 points or fewer depending on the dominance of that minute. The judges will base their scorecards on damage, control, and aggression, which means a robot must follow all 3 of these criterias in order to win. In order for a robot to win a fight, it must immobilize, destroy, or eliminate the opposing robot before the fight timer is up. If the fight were to end after all the time is up, then it will go to a tiebreaker where the judges will determine a winner based off of their scorecards. With only 4 robots that remain in the tournament, we have a total of 4 different fights that will happen tonight. Of course, we will have the finale championship fight later on tonight that'll determine the winner and the champion of RoboMania. Before that, there will be a 3rd place ranked fight between the losers of round number 3. Then we will have the number 1 seed Werewolf take on the very aggressive number 4 ranked Wraith. And first, the Cinderella story number 14 ranked Red Dragon will take on the full body flipper and the number 10 ranked Airborne. The robots are ready for tonight's fights and I can't wait any longer. Let's jump into the first fight of the night. A tale of 2 underdogs will take on each other in the first fight of round number 3. Red Dragon and Airborne will be in for an epic flipping matchup to claim the first final spot in the finale. With Red Dragon rebounding after a decent performance against Steel Drifting, it will look to quickly toss its opponent out of the arena. While Airborne doesn't really have the power to flip a robot high, it can look to dominate its opponent through grappling. And we are live for our very first fight of round number 3. We got a 10 versus 14 seed. The winner will move on into the championship. This is Airborne going up against Red Dragon, fighting out of the red square. We have the number 14 ranked Red Dragon coming off of a TKO victory over Steel Drifting. This robot, I'm excited to see what it's going to do against a very interesting robot that will be fighting out of the blue square. This robot is ranked number 10, coming off of a TKO upset against the number 2 seed, Nuts and Bolts. Airborne will look to have another surprise again. Both robots are set, and here we go. 3, 2, 1, let the first fight of round number 3 begin. We got Airborne going up against Red Dragon. Both of these robots are flippers, and both of these robots are already put on their back instantly. Airborne kind of flipped itself over, and there it is! The first suplex by Red Dragon in RoboMania history. I've been waiting for that to come, and it finally happened after 3 fights, but what an amazing look. I just love seeing a suplex happen as Airborne tries to get around to the sides of Red Dragon. Both robots still kind of feeling each other out, and another suplex. Doesn't do one for 2 fights, and now has 2 suplexes in one single fight. Wow, Red Dragon starting out strong. It doesn't do a lot of damage to have a suplex, but it just looks awesome. Airborne gets underneath Red Dragon, and now another suplex happens again. Make that 3. One more? Nope. Flips over Airborne though. Just under 2 minutes left in the fight, and And we have a good fight going on right now. This is a very interesting design by both robots, and another suplex happens. What is that, 4 now? 5? I don't even know. But Red Dragon is getting the better of the flips. Airborne still trying to just knock over Red Dragon, get underneath it, but it flips itself over in the process. That's not a good look by Airborne right there. Red Dragon kind of sitting on top of it and thrown in the air. Doesn't quite get a suplex, but the flamethrower has to be doing some sort of damage there. Airborne coming up from behind, and we have about a minute left in the fight, and this is going to be a very... so far, this is a close fight, but I think Red Dragon has the edge currently, but it's hard to tell what the judges are thinking. Airborne still getting underneath. Airborne is grappling well, so that is going to be the thing that we have to watch for if this were to go to a judge's decision. And another suplex! Another one! Why not? Red Dragon showing off some skills in this third round fight. Can he get another? And it does! Wow, Red Dragon is really putting on a fantastic performance. Whether it wins or not, it's looking good. And it's flipping over Airborne. The true flipper, a full body flipper, is getting flipped like crazy right now. And we have 10 seconds left in this fight. It looks like it is going to go to a judge's decision unless something crazy happens. But I don't think it will, and that will do it for this fight. A very entertaining fight, just based off of the suplexes and all the flips that just happened. But wow, that was actually a pretty entertaining performance on Red Dragon's end. Airborne did not get enough done, in my opinion, to win this fight, but we're gonna have to see what the judges think. Look at these beautiful suplexes. I haven't seen a suplex by Red Dragon ever, and 5 or 6 happened today. Look at the air on that. Airborne got some air time in today's fights. And another one, this is a great shot right here. Shot up in the air, the flamethrower doing damage, Airborne doing some good shots from underneath. But this was the moral of the story. Airborne was spending half of the time in the air on its back. And just a beautiful performance by Airborne and Red Dragon. While the judges are still trying to figure out who won this fight, let's take a look at some of the statistics of this fight. In the first minute, as you can see, Red Dragon almost didn't dominate, but it did enough to win it, in my opinion. Going into minute number 2 though, this is where things kind of balance themselves out. Airborne actually equalized the amount of flips that Red Dragon had in that second minute. But you have to look down at the amount of pins. Red Dragon pinned in each minute. Looking at minute number 3, this is where I think Red Dragon edged everything out with 4-0 on the amount of flips that it had. Yes, both robots pinned each other in that minute, but I think Red Dragon somehow won that fight. I am also hearing that the judge's decision is in, so let's take a look at who won this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decision. The judges scored the contest 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, and moving on into the finale of RoboMania, Red Dragon. And with the judges' decision coming in, Red Dragon will move on into the championship to face the winner of Werewolf and Wraith. It is unbelievable that a number 14 seed has been placed in the championship and fought its way, beating 3 different robots with all upsets to move on to face the other best robot in this tournament. While Airborne is eliminated from the tournament, it still has one more fight in the future. It will face the loser of Werewolf and Wraith that will be coming up next. Two powerful drum spinners will collide as Werewolf and Wraith seek the final spot in the championship. Wraith comes into this fight after having a potential performance of the tournament as it knocked out Killa B with pure aggression, while Werewolf is coming off a rocky win against Pack-a-Punch where it will need to prove that it belongs in the finale. Here we go! We got the number 1 seed Werewolf coming up against the number 4 seed Wraith. Both robots are very aggressive and both of them are drum spinners. This fight is going to be very interesting to watch. Fighting out of the red square, we got the number 4 ranked Wraith, a robot that only relies really on just aggression. It just keeps driving forward, and that's how it's winning most of its fights, based off the last 2 rounds at least. It will be fighting Werewolf, who will be fighting out of the blue square. This robot has a new design, a new configuration. It has a wedge instead of the lifter, so expect a different strategy for Werewolf in this fight. The number 1 seed versus the number 4 seed. It can't get any better than this. 3, 2, 1. Let the matchup begin between Werewolf and Wraith. I've been very excited for this fight. On paper, both robots doing pretty well in this tournament thus far, but there is room for anything to happen, especially right now when they go head to head. And I think a part of Werewolf has come off, and now the fork wedges of Wraith have been knocked off, pinned against the wall. This is looking good for Werewolf right now because all Wraith has left is just the weapon. It doesn't have the wedges that help lift up another robot so it can dish out any damage. Werewolf is trying to get to the sides and does, pins it against the wall, throwing it against the wall actually, and now just causing a bunch of damage. Werewolf is looking really good right now. Didn't have a great performance against Pack-a-Punch, but now it's proving that the number 1 seed does belong. I also see smoke. I think that's coming out of Wraith right now, but it's hard to tell. It would make sense if it were coming out of Wraith, but Werewolf looking good. Looking good at the moment and just proving that once again it deserves to be in this tournament. Wraith is not out yet as it gets slammed against the wall. I may have just jinxed it and a part falls off. I don't think Wraith can get off. I think it's stuck on its back right now, pinned up against the wall with the wheel covers, the wheel guards preventing it from getting down, and Werewolf will move on into the finale via TKO. What a performance by Werewolf right there. Here's that head-to-head collision that kind of knocks Werewolf off a little bit, but then it comes back and it slams, hits the fork wedges off of Wraith, which is an amazing thing it did, thrown against the wall. Don't mind me, let me throw you against the wall one more time, says Werewolf, and that is where the fight ended. And just like that, Werewolf will move on into the finale, where it'll face Red Dragon, the number 1 versus the number 14 seed. Both robots have proven that they deserve to be in this championship. Keep in mind that this final fight between Red Dragon and Werewolf will be a total of 5 minutes long, which means they have time to adjust their batteries. They have time to work on the configurations of the robot so that it can last 5 minutes. With Wraith being knocked out of the tournament, it is not over yet for it. Wraith and Airborne will fight for the 3rd place of the Battle of the Rookies, which will be coming up next. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, please consider rating this video. I have put in a ton of time making sure that you guys are entertained, and it would very much be worth it if I hear how you guys have enjoyed the video. Also, if you would like to see more content similar to this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It costs absolutely nothing and only takes a few seconds, and it will mean the world to me. While both robots are coming off of a defeat from round number 3, the classic battle of a striker versus a flipper will commence. Even though Airborne was out-grappled by Red Dragon, there is still a bunch of potential as it steps into the arena against Wraith. A robot that has shown a ton of potential, the very aggressive Wraith will need to somehow get around the low wedges of Airborne. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, this fight will be for the 3rd place of the Battle of the Rookies. We have the number 4 seed Wraith going up against the number 10 seed Airborne. This fight is going to be very interesting to see pan out. Fighting out of the red square, we have the full body flipper Airborne with 2 TKOs and only 1 decision loss. This robot has a lot to prove when it steps into the arena against a very aggressive robot who just didn't have a good showing in its last performance. Wraith is a robot that gets knocked out or will knock out the opposing robot, and this fight is going to be very fun to watch and see pan out. For 3rd place in the Battle of the Rookies, Wraith, Airborne. This fight is going to be fun. 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. This fight instantly starts out with Wraith hitting Airborne over on its back. A full body flipper can self-right whenever it needs to, so that is fine. But it is getting chewed up right now and flips itself back over. Wraith has started out this fight very aggressive, but I do see smoke coming out of Wraith. This has been a problem throughout the entire tournament, and the builders just can't seem to get it right for Wraith with the driving. And slammed against the wall once more. Pinned! An amazing pin right here. Airborne immediately getting dominated in this fight. Taking it for another spin. This fight means absolutely nothing for the tournament, by the way. This is just pure records, and let's just see who wins. Let's see who gets 3rd place in this tournament. Airborne flips Wraith over, and now the tides have turned a little bit. It seems like Airborne is the robot that's being more aggressive compared to Wraith, at least. Both robots kind of dancing in the center of the arena right now, and they're trying to figure out each other. They're trying to get underneath the wedges. Airborne's trying to push and kind of gets underneath. Can it get a flip off? It does. It actually puts Wraith back on its wheels where it wants to be, but flipped over again in the process and almost pinned against the wall. I'm not sure if that's going to count as a pin, but it might as well. The Wraith is stuck right now, it seems. Countdown kind of begun, and they both separate. Airborne flips itself over. This is what happens in a third place fight. Airborne's trying to get up and ready, but Wraith is just on its butt, trying to just stay aggressive, true to its title. Wraith may be one of the most aggressive robots, not in this fight anymore, once it was put on its back. And now goes for a little ride, pinned up against the wall. We have under a minute left in this fight. And it seems like the tides have turned just a little bit from the very first minute. Airborne is kind of just controlling Wraith now. I don't know if it was because of the burnt out motors, the drive motors, but who knows? Who knows? They both are pinned up against the corner right now in the arena. And Airborne is doing a great job with those low wedges to just pin up Wraith. And it seems like if this lasts another 10 seconds, we could have a very close decision on our hands based off of that first minute. Pinned up once more, and now Wraith is actually on top of Airborne. When that's the end of the fight. Very, very weird fight. It started out very fun, but then Airborne kind of just learned to adapt, essentially. It worked its way and grappled with Wraith, and Wraith cannot grapple. Here's the beginning shot of Wraith doing some work on Airborne, slamming it against the walls of the arena, and then the first flip happened, and this is where everything changed. Airborne was in control for the last minute and a half of the fight, and The judges are gonna have a tough one. I think this fight was very close, but I guess we will have to see. While the judges await the decision and are trying to figure everything out, let's take a look at the statistics of this fight. As you can see in the first minute of the fight, Wraith didn't dominate, but it did enough in my opinion to win that minute. And then minute 2 and 3 happened where everything kind of just flipped around. Airborne kind of controlled the rest of the fight. It didn't dish out any damage. It didn't make it look pretty, but I think Airborne did enough in the second and third minute in order to win. In my opinion, this is going to be a very close fight, but who knows what the judges think, and I'm also getting note that the judges' decision is in, so let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decision. All 3 judges have scored the contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Airborne. And with the judges' decision being read, Airborne has claimed the 3rd place of the Battle of the Rookies with a professional record of 3 wins and only 1 defeat. Congratulations to Airborne, very well deserved. A full body flipper actually doing well in the tournament is very fun to see. Commiserations to Wraith for getting 4th place, but no worries in that. Wraith, I guarantee, will come back better and stronger for the next fight. RoboMania is now on Discord. If you would like to see your very own custom robot entered into a video similar to this, then go ahead and click the link down below in the description. Our Discord is a very friendly community who all love the hobby of watching robots smash into each other and destroy each other for fun. Even if you don't play this game at all and want to stay up to news and announcements revolving around RoboMania, go ahead and check it out and have a chat with the amazing community. The Cinderella story, Red Dragon. Red Dragon pulling another upset. Another suplex. The comeback victory. Werewolf is the most complete robot in the tournament. Being the #1 seed, there's a lot of pressure on you. Werewolf is proving it belongs in the finale. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the championship, the finale of the Battle of the Rookies. We got Werewolf, the #1 seed, going up against Red Dragon, the 14 seed. This fight is going to be 5 minutes long. Fighting out of the red square, we have the powerful grappler and flipper Red Dragon with an amazing career of 3 wins with 0 losses. This robot is gonna try its best to win and cause another upset. It will be fighting the favorite of the tournament, Werewolf, who will be fighting out of the blue square. This robot has had a lot of ups and downs throughout the tournament, but it is time to prove if it deserves. The championship fight. The winner will become the champion of RoboMania. The #1 seed Werewolf will take on the #14 seed Red Dragon. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let the championship match begin between Werewolf and Red Dragon. I've been excited for this fight on multiple aspects, and immediately Red Dragon is put on its ass, trying to get out, and pieces are flying off almost immediately, and it's losing its chassis now. Red Dragon is put on its heels immediately, and we're gonna have to try to see if there's any way that Red Dragon can recuperate and get back into this fight. It's only 30 seconds in, and we still have 4.5 minutes left in this fight. Both robots doing a little dance. I like it. Let's celebrate this final fight of the Battle of the Rookies. I've been excited to see if these robots can last for 5 minutes. The batteries show that they can. Let's see if they truly can when they're fighting though. Red Dragon put on its back once more. It seems like the lifter of Werewolf is doing a decent amount. And it's throwing Red Dragon back on its head. And it's doing a lot of damage right now. But it doesn't seem like it's doing that much damage. It's doing some, but it's not doing a lot. But like I said, 5-minute fight. This isn't about quickly knocking out the opposing robot. This is about trying to survive and see if you can take the other robot into deep waters. Werewolf flips itself over, and they are kind of back at a normal stance. Back at it, and it seems like Red Dragon has changed its stance, trying to wait for Werewolf to come towards it. Kind of fighting on its heels at the moment. Can't get a good grab either. Trying to do a suplex, but it can't do it. It seems like Werewolf took the back for a second, did not capitalize. And now a slam into the wall with a flip. Some amazing performance by Werewolf in the first 2.5 minutes. But it seems like Red Dragon is at its best in later of the fight. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Red Dragon still pinned up against the wall. Werewolf is just trying to get past those ginormous wedges that Red Dragon has on the front. Kind of getting on the lap. That's not a good sign. Can it? Red Dragon flies out and flips on its head again. Red Dragon has not had a single shot in this fight, and its head comes off. There's the other decapitation, and now Red Dragon is just a flipper. But keep in mind, this is exactly how Red Dragon won its fight against Yin and Yang in round number 1. Had a huge upset, a comeback victory. You can never count Red Dragon out. And there is some fire coming out of Red Dragon. It's hard to tell if it's from the flamethrower or if it's from the batteries or the motors. And I think that's from the motors right there. Just about 1.5 minutes left in this fight. And Werewolf is putting on a clinic right now. Causing a lot of damage to that left side of Red Dragon. And it's trying to get in. I think it got stuck a little bit on, again, those ginormous wedges of Red Dragon. Both robots getting counted out. Can Red Dragon get out? It did. It flipped its way out of the countdown. And now both robots are... At least Red Dragon's trying its best to survive, but it needs to do something in this last minute of the fight, or it's going to lose, and Werewolf might become champion. But this is where the deep waters officially start in RoboMania. Oh, crazy flip right there. Werewolf did not have enough power and actually flipped itself over, and there goes the lifter. Red Dragon is now just a wedge robot with smoke coming out of it. That is not a good sign. Werewolf flipping a battery just for fun. Why not? And it's... God, look at all the debris of Red Dragon across the arena. Sparks. There's the sparks. We've had fire, sparks, and smoke in this fight. All coming from Red Dragon. And Werewolf still on a solid pace. It seems like it can definitely fight 5+ minutes. And this is putting an exclamation point on the tournament itself. We are going to a judge's decision, but I don't think we really need it. Werewolf dominated that entire fight. Destroyed Red Dragon. There's the head on the floor. It's not a good look for Red Dragon, but Werewolf with a beautiful performance. It all started with the beautiful flips from the beginning where Red Dragon just couldn't get underneath Werewolf. And that's pretty much the moral of the story for this entire fight. Here's a great shot of Werewolf getting from the sides, underneath the wedges, just flinging around Red Dragon. And there goes the head. Decapitation. Blur your eyes once more. Here's all the sparks, the fire that you love to see in a fight. And I believe this is where the motor actually caught on fire when Werewolf was just hitting it. This is where the countdown almost ended Red Dragon's life, but yet again, gets out of it. It survives, but it did not do a single thing in this fight. There goes the lifter. Goodbye. What an amazing performance. This is where Werewolf flips a battery. Get out of here. Too much smoke. And this is where the fight essentially ended. What an amazing performance. While we wait for the judge's decision, let's take a look at the statistics of this fight. Now, I really don't have a lot to say about this fight, besides Werewolf just completely dominating Red Dragon. Red Dragon didn't do a single thing until the last minute of the fight, where it just got one flip in and it wasn't even its own flipper doing the flip. I don't think this is going to be a close decision at all, but the judge's decision is in, so let's hear what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decision. All 3 judges score this contest 50-40 for the winner by unanimous decision and the new champion of RoboMania, Werewolf. And just like that, Werewolf is the new champion of RoboMania with a 4-0 record. Congratulations to Werewolf. Honestly, a very good performance to end the tournament. It really just showed that it had a lot of upcoming throughout the entire tournament. Started out kind of weak, but eventually just made its way to the end and finished very strong. Congratulations also to Red Dragon for getting 2nd place with a professional record of 3-1. Not a bad start for the fire-breathing flipping dragon. I know for a fact it is going to have some fun fights in the future. Thank you so much for watching the Battle of the Rookies tournament. It has been a wild ride to crown the first champion of RoboMania, and now it is on to the RoboMania League, where we'll see a ton more robots come together and fight it out. My name is Game & Soy, and as always, it's been a pleasure to have you guys here for the tournament, and I will see you guys all next time on RoboMania.